Hey, my name is Sett. I'm a Challenger Fiora main. I stream every day, upload a video every day. Now let's get into the guys. So, for abilities, the first thing is Fiora passive. The way that Fiora passive works is it'll either spawn down or left. And if you hit it, it'll spawn up or right. Those are the two patterns that it spawns in. Which means if I hit the vital on the right here, and then I walk down left, I'll be instantly walking to the next vital regardless of whether it's down or left because I'm walking in a diagonal angle. That's all I gotta do. Then I can decide, oh, it's here, I'll walk down. It's here, I'll walk like this, and go up, and then I'm able to reach it quicker. Instead if I hit, then it's like, oh, it's this one? No, it's not this one. Then I have to walk all the way around. The best way to get the next vital is always to walk in the diagonal angle, up right, or down left, and then decide when you see the vital whether to walk up or right, or then down or left. And that's how you get really good vitals, and you can instantly hit them because you're already walking that way, because you know where they're going to spawn. Another thing for your passive, technically, is let's say that vital is down left here. If you hit, and then you R, and you proc your R, the vital will spawn again in the same down left. The reason this happens is because when you hit the vital, it spawns on the other side. You press R, it disappears that vital as if it's been hit, and then it will spawn in the same side that you hit from, which is down left in this case. As you'll see, it'll spawn right here. There you go. When you're playing into an opponent, you want to be where their vital is. So if their vital is up here, you want to play in the top side so you can actually proc the vital. And your response will go deeper in, but that's fine. You want to hold the good angle here. If their vital is towards you, all good. You stand normal position normally and all good. And again, their vital top, you go top, you play at top vital, all good. You stand here so that you can actually hit the vital when you choose to fight. Let's say it's down here finally. You want to play from the river and play the bottom side. The only vital you can't really play is the right vital. Which hasn't fallen for me, like I'm a little bit lucky. Yeah, so right vital here, you can't really play it. You'd have to be approaching from here, but it's really risky. You'd have to be really strong to be able to just force a fight and win everything, which is possible, but you'd put yourself into all the minions. You don't want to do it. It's not ideal, but you can do it and just force a fight from the right side. But generally, they'd back off, and it's hard to do, and you'd be forcing it a little bit too much. That's the idea behind how you should position based on what vital appears for you. If the right vital appears, all you have to do is just go out of vision and just reset it and walk back up and play it again. Also, another note is the Fiora Vital, you can start your auto attack as the Vital is forming. You don't have to start it the second it forms. So like, let's see, if I started the second it's formed, then hit, I'm hitting now. But if I hit it the second that I can hit it, you don't even get to see that it's formed and you can still proc it. And it looks so much faster, and it is a lot faster. Something you can also do is you can use your Tiamat to proc a vital. Like right here, you can just press Tiamat and it'll proc the vital, and they effectively can't fight into you. Or I can just go back and then walk back up. And even if I want to hit a vital that's deeper in, like this one for example, and I can Q away and I don't take any damage, and I can instantly leave with the increased movement speed, and they can obviously proc multiple vitals at once. Another thing for your passive is if you're in a bush, you will not spawn a vital. If they need to have vision of you and you have vision of them, that means if you're in a bush and there's no vital, they don't have a ward in there, you know that the bush is not warded. But if they see you, then a vital forms. Same thing works the other way around, where, oh, I'll ward here, no bush, no ward, no nothing. I have to actually get out, and then a vital will form. And that's how your passive works on Fiora. There's also one secret resource that will really help you, and I'll put it at the end of the video as bait so you guys can stay. Or fast forward to the last 10 seconds and you can see it. So with Fiora, there are a few kinds of Qs you can go for. The first kind of Q, okay, let me hit this so I get the better vital, is the short Q. Meaning if I'm hitting a wave and I'm trying to fight you here, I'm looking for the shortest Q possible that will hit the vital, and then I can instantly leave. That's the short Q that's very hard to react to. You hit it, you instantly leave, and then they can't really chase you. You just hit it and then you dip. It's a very nice way to poke them out. There are two ways to fight with Fiora. You have the inner Q and the outer Q. The inner Q basically means if I'm choosing to fight you here, I will Q right on top of you. That way I am melee range of you and I can easily run to the next vital. But if I choose to do an outer Q where it's like, oh, max range, I'll hit you, look how far away I am from them, and they can keep walking away as I reach them, which makes landing the rest of my combo a lot harder because I'm so far away and they're actually walking while you're hitting. So if you want to go for an all-in, it needs to be a close to them Q. You want to go for a poke, it doesn't matter if you're going for a max range Q, it's poke, it's all good. But if you want to all in, the Q that you hit has to be melee Q to be able to go for the all in, or it's at least very much preferable. And to a champion like Shogas, if you go for the long range Q, his E slow will just make it so that you can't hit the next vital. You just literally can't unless you go for the melee Q into him. And then there's also, when you're trying to fight into enemy champions like a Jax or a Darius, doing these Qs into them like this, where you are able to get the vital without effectively moving, and they can't react to it with Darius W or Jax E, it's very, very good poke. Or you can do the max range Q like this and then run away and they can't really reach you as well. That's a very good use of your Q. And now on to Fiora W. The way that Fiora W works, the way that you want to use it is either you're blocking damage. If they do a lot of damage into you and need to block that damage to not die, you press W to block damage. Realistically though, you're going to be pressing it in two scenarios. One, to just instantly start the fight. Because if you hit them with a W, that's it. That's all you need to do. As long as you've hit them with a W, that's all the value you need. You don't need to hit it on a specific ability most of the time. You just need to land the W on them. And if you just QW into them, it's a really good fight to take. The other thing is, if they have easy to react to CC, like a Riven Q3, a Pantheon long range W, Malphite long range R, Nico E, easy to react CC where you can easily W it. That's the other thing that you can do. Just wait for that CC and press W on it. QW into an Orin Pillar, all that stuff works, or Orin R. The other thing is, you don't need to react. You can predict. So for example, let's say that you're playing versus a Sett. If you're playing versus a Sett, and I'll show you the clip here, you can be at his turret right here, and when you're here, he's going to do a little bit of like a shuffle behind you to get into range to R you. And that works remarkably well. There are like specific timers, specific movement patterns that show you that they're going to R you or press their ability on you, and that lets you be able to predict it rather than react to it pretty consistently. Like let's say you're under turret with 3 bleed stacks into Darius. If you have 3 bleed stacks and walk up to CS a minion here, very high likely chance he's going to go for an E and you can just W it and predict it. But there's a lot of timers where you know when he's going to E. You don't need to react to it. You can kind of predict it because you know when he's going to E. Like, let me show you. Like right here, I can predict when he's going to E because he's going to do it now. See? Like, I don't really need to react to it. I can just predict it. Like, I don't need to react. Like, reacting is so 2025. I can just predict it. If you understand these patterns of gameplay from the enemy champions, you can find easy windows to press your W. You're not looking to get the coolest outplay possible. You're looking for the most consistent value across all matchups, across all times and all games. And then Fiora R. The way that you proc Fiora R quickly is you want to stand down left and you want to Q upright. That's how it works. You stand between vitals, so you have to take a single step, you hit, single step, you hit, Q, single step, you hit. That's how it works. That's the best way to get Fiora R, by standing on these edges, the same way that it worked for the passive to get the most value. You only need to walk ever so slightly to be able to actually hit the vitals. Normal speed, that's what it looks like. And that's what like a normal Fiora R looks like. You can also incorporate your flash into it to make it a bit faster. Or if you're on an R... I'm terrible at the game, whatever. And if you want to incorporate your R into the combo, you can just auto... E, Q, and then flash Hydra. And that will put your R into the combo, and it's very chill, makes it a bit faster, especially into moving enemies. It makes the combo a little bit faster. Another thing that you can use for your flash is auto flash, where you start the auto attack and then instantly flash to get a vital into an enemy. This is really good in people that are hugging the wall, where you can just auto flash and then it gets the vital in the wall. And when you want to press R into somebody, you have to make sure you have 2 out of your 3 tools available. So your 3 tools to proccing vitals are Q, E, and Ravenous, or Tiamat. You want to make sure you have 2 out of the 3. Because if you don't have Q or Tiamat and then you try to proc the vital, it's so slow. It's so slow to proc it. But as long as you have 2 of them, or if you use Ravenous here, you can still get it pretty quickly. You need to always make sure you have 2 out of the 3. If you only have 1, the R will be very slow and it's not ideal. Another thing that's important for Fiora or even vitals is knowing how they move. So let's say you're fighting against an enemy like this and they're running away. If you press Q here, you don't need to move here anymore, because they're going to move right into you, and all you have to do is auto attack them and you'll get the top vital. And I'm going to show you a clip right here where they move to help you get the vital because they're trying to run to their turret. So all you have to do is know where they're going to run, which in this case is to their turret or river to run away, and you incorporate their movement, and you don't actually need to move to hit the vital. They just give it to you because they're nice people. Now on to itemization. For starter items, you either get the Doran's Blade or the Shield. Shield into poke, Blade into the majority of your matchups, it's pretty self-explanatory. For first item, you'll always get Ravenous. People ask me all the time, what component do you choose to get? If you are behind, always get Tiamat. If you're ahead, then you have the option to freeze the wave sometimes. Into a poke champion, you might want to get Vamsep. Into a non-poke champion like a Riven, you might choose to get the Warhammer to freeze the wave, then choose to fight her. Freezing is okay in the early game for a few minutes, but it is not ideal as a strategy overall. It has not been good in Season 15. It's not good in Season 16. That's why most of my games, I'm just rushing the Tiamat, because having the shove, proccing the monster a couple times on the turret, it's a lot more important than freezing waves. For boots, the way that you think about them is, if they have AD damage, you want plated steel caps if they have a lot of AD damage. If they don't have a lot of AD heavy damage, you look, oh, do they have AP? Okay. Do they have AP with CC? Because if they don't have AP with CC and they just have AP damage, like a Malzar, I guess Syndra or whatever, where their CC isn't too heavy or it's easy to react to or you won't get hit by it most likely, then you don't really need the Merc Treads. You can just get Swifties and then buy a Null Magic Mantle and it's 10 times better because it'll give you so much more value because the Merc Treads is so expensive even though it just gives you 20 MR. It doesn't really give you all that much MR. Swifties plus a Null Magic Mantle will be a much better purchase than going Merc Treads if they have AP and they are not CC heavy, or you can dodge it or W it consistently. For your second item, the majority of the time, you're going to be getting Trinity Force. The majority of the time, it's just the optimal item. You can technically choose to also get Cycle Sword. If they're a very mobile range champion like Quinn, you can choose to get Cycle Sword second. That's completely fine. You can also choose to get Hex Drinker if you're playing into like an Akali or a Rumble. You can get Hex Drinker and just sit on it. Also pretty good. Shojin is okay if they're like triple tank comp or they have like a lot of tanks on the team. Then Shojin is pretty cool to get. There is also Manamune. Manamune is surprisingly good into Malphite specifically. It's a very good counter item for Malphite. It lets you play out the matchup and you will get so much of an unexpected ability to kill him into the Malphite lane. I highly recommend it. I always get into Malphite, makes the lane a lot more chill. There's also Eclipse. It's good into squishy champions. I haven't played too much with it, so I can't recommend it, but some people do build it. For the third item, which is where people get confused a bit. The way third items on Fiora work generally are, if you're into a bruiser that can kill you or you want to make the dives easier, you get Death Stance. That's very good. But if you're into something where you need to split push but don't need Death Stance, you get Hull Breaker. If you can't team fight, you need split push and you don't need Death Stance to be able to kill them or survive, you get the Hull Breaker and then you split push and it's all good, and I heavily recommend split pushing. If you need to team fight or want to team fight or think you can team fight, Sterax is usually a pretty good purchase to make, especially if you need to survive or the tenacity is useful. Sterax becomes really good. And then there's obviously just Maw. If you're into heavy AP, you can always just grab it. Just grab Maw if you're into like 2 or 3 AP champions, specifically if it's the side laners as well, or side laner plus jungler. And for fourth and fifth item, just whatever you didn't buy before, buy it now. So if you didn't buy the Death Stance, then grab it. If you didn't buy the Sterax or the Shojin or whatever, grab it. Just whatever from the 4 previous items you didn't get, just grab that and that's how it'll work. And when you reach fourth and fifth item, this is when you can choose to slot in Endless Hunger. I do not like this item pre-fourth, and never buy Endless Hunger pre-fourth item. It is a lot worse than you expect. You want it fourth or fifth. You never want to buy it third on Fiora because you're not getting enough value and then you're going to be too squishy. And I do not recommend it in any real game. It's so rare that it'll be a good third item. You should get it fourth or fifth, never before that. And even then, I don't particularly like it unless I know that I can fight and I'm not going to get one shot consistently. Then it's sort of okay. And now for the early game. Level 1 into Fiora, or when you're playing Fiora, you usually win into a lot of matchups in the early game, in the level 1. So what you do is, if they walk past this point, you just Q on them, auto, just keep fighting them, keep trading with them. It's completely chill, and you will win it into the vast majority of matchups. There's like an exception, like a Trundle with Ignite or a Darius. But if you're playing into champions you don't beat level 1, which is the exception, then you just do something different. And something different is you just look for these Q pokes into them. And I'll show you a video again. Or just Q poke and then instantly back away and don't let them trade with you. 2 or 3 of these Q pokes lets you be in a position where you can actually all in them. But that's just the kind of fight that you want. And when the Vital's in the bad side, you just back away, reset the Vital, walk up, and then again look for the Q poke into them. You want to like try to not make it too obvious, walk in and out, and then just Q poke and insta leave. Do not make it too obvious that's where you're going for, or they will just walk into it and they'll trade back into you, which is what you don't want to do. Just take your time with it and it's very chill. Into range matchups, you either heavily play the bush here so they're not able to walk up and then you play with the bush, or you look to auto the wave if you're taking grasp into like a Kennen or Quinn. Look to auto the wave, and with grasp and D-shield on second wind, you can actually trade very well into them and have wave priority because your grasp lets you poke very heavily and you can get control and then you can kill them level 2 and it's chill. The exception to this is Vayne. Vayne, PTA, D-Shield, Bush, play. You'll be able to kill them that way unless you're playing into Kana, and then Kana will beat you, then say I am the GOAT. It's a reference to a previous video. And then there is the Bramble Vest issue. When a melee champion just gets Bramble Vest because they have 800 gold, Lamau, that's hilarious. What you do is you get Tiamat. I know it's a little bit more expensive, but generally you'll get it like next recall insta after the Bramble Vest. And then you just clear every single wave that comes and do not interact with them at all. You don't need to interact with them at all, just clear the waves and you don't need to fight them. You outscale every single champion that buys Bramble Vest effectively when you build your Ravenous. So all you need to do is to not lose, get a lot of CS, get Ravenous, and when you get Ravenous, you will beat them. Do not worry about it, it's really chill. It's like, oh, I just killed them, but they got Bramble, so now they win the fight against me. Yes, they do, but that's okay, because they'll get Ravenous and then they have no counterplay, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Just wait for your Ravenous, use Tiamat to clear wave and push, and just don't die till then or try not to die. You can still kill them, it's just a lot harder to do, so I wouldn't recommend it unless you know your limits very well. Yeah, and Ravenous is a really huge spike for you. This is the biggest Fiora spike that lets you start to win matchups where you were losing before, or if you're like died a couple of times, Ravenous is where you spike back in and then you can choose to keep fighting and win. And now there are the trade patterns. There are a couple ways to trade with Fiora. There's the poke trade, which I talked about before, which is just Q and then insta dip. And then there's the very heavy trade, which is, oh, there's a vital here. I'm gonna Q, auto, E, Tiamat, and then you can choose to crit, W, and leave, and that's like generally it. You can W before the E crit or after, both is fine. And that's generally how it goes. It's a really good trade, and then you can dip into most cases with the movement speed and the slow and all that. That's like a really good trade on Fiora. You don't even need to incorporate W, where sometimes where they're walking up for a minion, you just Q auto, and then dip away. You don't even need to E2. You proc your PTA, did 3 hits, a lot of poke. Very useful, like level 2 when you just get E, because you'll get E like half of your games because you can really kill them, especially with Ignite. You can Q auto E and then instantly leave. Very useful there. And they won't expect the damage and they won't generally react to it very well. And then there's the W poke. If you know that you don't need your W in the next 20 seconds, especially because the wave is just crashing, you can legit just walk up like right here as they're going for a minion. Just, oh, well, if there's a vital facing you, just walk up and press W for them as they're going for a minion. This is usually pre-Tiamat or if Tiamat's on cooldown, but yeah, just W them. They're hitting the wave, they're under turret, you're not gonna need your W. Just press W on them, poke them, and then back away. If you don't need to use your W, then poke with it. If you don't need to use it to like not take damage, poke with it. It is a 90 damage level 1, like after their MR is like 90 damage. It does quite a bit. Poke them with it if you don't need it. And when you're looking to dive somebody under turret, generally the best way to do it is to walk up and then you press your W on them to start the dive, and then you just instantly R, proc all vitals, whatever you want to do, then dip. But you want to start the fight with W. That's the most important thing. If your W lands, that increases the chance of the fight working out by an insane margin. If it doesn't land, then you can just choose to leave. You didn't tank turret aggro because it didn't land. It's very low risk, extremely high reward. So I highly recommend starting dives with the W if you don't like die because you don't have W. But if you die because you don't have W, then it's a very risky dive. So I wouldn't recommend it. But if you're on a limit test. Hey, I'm never saying no to a limit test. Another surprisingly good thing is like when you're level 2, you can get E level 2, especially if you're like winning the matchup priority. And literally, the second that you see they have a vital, they'll generally even be standing further back because they're afraid of you. The second you see that they have a vital facing you, literally just flash auto, and they will flash away. You're going to do about 300 damage to them with your flash Q auto E. They will flash away because they don't want to get hit by E2 crit, and then they can't walk up. If they don't have TP, which generally they won't now, you should always do this. If you have the level 2, literally flash on them, get 300 HP, 300 damage onto them. They will flash away to not get hit by the E2 crit, and then you can dive them level 3 and they can't do anything about it, and it's just GG. It's a very consistent strategy to do level 2 if you have the prio and won the early. Just flash on them, not to kill them, but to get 300 damage or 350, and to make sure that they flash, and then you can dive them very easily. I've done it in so many of my games. I highly recommend. And now, Fiora's matchups, I have a spreadsheet for it where I wrote in depth all my tips and runes and item suggestions for all the matchups. You're going to see it scroll by right here. And you can go, the link is in the description, and you can see all the matchups and see my thoughts on them. And for runes and summoner spells, generally runes, unfortunately, even though I love Conquer, PTA is just better. In the vast majority of games, PTA will be better. Like so far, Conquer for me has only been better into Rek'Sai and Rengar. And those aren't really played that often in top lane. And you take Grasp into Kennen and Quinn, and that's it. Every other matchup, you take PTA, and it's just the best thing ever. Oh, except Darius. Darius, you take Phase Rush into him, it'll make the matchup a lot easier. Technically, you don't need it until they start kiting you, which won't happen until Masters, but it's still better to get the correct practice, and Phase Rush is just better into Darius. And for summoner spells, you will always take Flash Ignite. TP is dead to me, it's dead to you, it's dead to everybody until they actually buff it. The top lane quest giving you TP for free means you never need to take TP ever. Because the quest buff for TP is not good enough. The shield is not good enough to warrant getting it. Always go Ignite. It is always better. Except into Kennen and Riven where you take Exhaust. Into Pantheon you can take Barrier. But generally always a fighting summoner spell. That's the idea. And now like some tricks for Fiora where I showed you before. You can just do the I don't have flash. You can just do the auto flash and you can get the vital. Very useful when they're next to a wall. Or not even next to a wall, but if you want to get this vital on them and you only have auto flash, you can get this vital on them, and then you can be in a good position to stop them from flashing away. They don't even need to be next to a wall. You can just hit that auto flash and then zone them off, and you have a good position. And if they flash, you can just auto them or Q them, and then they're still in range. There are a lot of walls you can Q that you might not expect. For this wall, it's a pretty easy Q to do, but the opposite side, it's not as easy as you would expect. You need to click on this proc right here, and then Q up here. It's not as easy as you would expect it to be. It's a bit more specific, but you can still Q over here. This one is a lot easier to do. This wall, you can Q over it as well. You click into the crack in the wall. It's not as consistent as you like it to be. And then you just Q over. Wait. It's not that consistent. I need to find the lineup for it, but I'm just showing you what's possible. And here you press into this area, then Q over up to this thing right here. Whoops. And then you Q here. And for this, if you just walk up into this area, and then you just Q up here, was it? Wait, where was it? Where's the setup? There we go. So you walk from here and then Q up here. You can go over and yeah, but you can Q over that. I forgot about the setup for this one, but you can Q both sides over this wall. Here it's a bit easier. You walk over to this area, then Q a bit to the left of the branch. But again, I don't bother with it because it's not consistent enough for me. This is the one where it's kind of more consistent, especially on the opposite side, where you click the flower here and then you queue over to this flower and you can kind of get it pretty consistently. Again, if you care about the setups you want to put into your game, know that they exist and you can go into practice tool and you can practice them out with the setup and it makes it possible. I'm just showing you what's possible. Here, you want to queue a little bit over here and then you can make it across. It's a bit of a diagonal queue. This is possible. Other side, it is not possible. It is impossible on the other side just because reasons. Who knows? You can obviously queue this wall. You can queue the Baron pit, but you can only queue specific angles. If you try to queue here, you can't. So it's like still a little bit specific, but you can queue most angles in the Baron. Yeah, you can queue slightly here that you might not expect in this area. You might not expect to be able to do that. No, that's kind of it. You can queue here, but you probably know that. And you can queue, wait, was it over here? You can just queue over here, but that's like the edge of the wall. Yeah, and that's it for where you can queue over the wall hops. And now, Fiora's macro strategy. When you're playing lane in Fiora, like the way that you want to play it out, you have a specific like champion fantasy where you are scaling, you split push, you're really good with golden EXP. You not winning lane isn't a bad thing. You are completely fine if you just go even in lane or you get like 9 CS per minute. If it's a good matchup for you, you're completely fine. The longer the game goes on, the better it is for you. You're in no hurry to play the game. Just keep getting CS, keep getting gold, and you will be able to outscale. You will be able to split push. Do not worry about I haven't killed my lane opponent or anything like that. You scale, you're completely fine, you're all good. And now for what you're all here for. Do I split push or do I team fight? That's the question I've been asked a lot. The answer is yes, you split push. And you only split push. And you split push. And then you split push some more. If you think you're split pushing a lot, you're probably not split pushing enough. If you see your team, that's an issue. That is an issue. You should not be team fighting on Fiora. Unless you win the team fight. When do you know you win the team fight? Experience. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck, guys. Figure out if you win the team fight or not. Okay, there are a couple of ways to know if you win the team fight. One is, do you have a flank? If you walk all the way over to mid here, you push top wave, walk all mid. Do you have a flank on the enemy ADC and you can come in from behind and flank him and it's like wonderful, or enemy mid or jungle, whatever. If you do, you're much more likely to win. Do you have numbers advantage? It's 5v4 and the enemy top laner didn't follow. If you do, you're more likely to win. Do they have CC that it's easy to W? If they do, you're more likely to win. Do they have low burst damage? If they do, you're more likely to win. These are like 4 different components. The more of them that you have, the more likely you are to win a team fight. And the more ahead you are, the more likely you are to win one. It comes down a bit to experience, but the more you play the game, the more you'll know. These are just some general guidelines. If you're not sure, or you think you don't, then split push. If you can ever win the split push, and either kill the enemy under turret, poke him down, then kill him, or get the plates from in front of him, you should always be split pushing to get value. Let's say you're strong, but you're not strong enough to dive him or kill him, and you just push. Well, then you'll push the wave, and then you'll walk over here, and you will just look to stand in this position, drop down a ward, take any jungle camp you see, and then if they walk up mid, you flank them. They're fighting at Drake and you're here already, well, walk in, flank them, it's all good. This turret is down, well then walk in from behind them and flank them from behind. All good, that's all good to do. And then if none of this works out, you go back top, push another wave, and then you repeat. And you keep repeating till you get another item, then you can kill the enemy top laner in the split push, or you finally find the flank and you kill somebody. And that's what you will do, and you'll get a lot of gold, you'll get a lot of movement, you'll give your team a lot of pressure, and it's fine if nothing happens, because eventually either something will happen, or you'll buy an item that you're strong enough. One of the two will happen, and you'll eventually win it. And the general way you play the map on Fiora is you're going to get this top turret, and then you're going to get the top tier 2, then the bot turret, then the bot tier 2. That's how it works. You clear out the side lane turrets here, then the side lane turrets here. You got the top tier 1 and can't get the top tier 2, go bot lane, get the bot tier 1 and then the bot tier 2. The enemy bot will have left and went mid. They haven't, well then stay top lane and get the top lane turret, it's fine. But generally by the time you do this play and go bot lane after getting top lane turret, they'll have went mid. And if they haven't, then it's a low elo game and you have a lot more other things you can improve on besides this part. Let's say that the game works out not completely to your favor and the enemy top laner is very strong. You're 0-8, never happened to me today because I haven't played League yet. It happened yesterday and the day before. You're 0-8 and you can't do anything against them. They steamroll you. What do? Well, you keep dying. The second they exit, they leave the lane. The second they walk into a river, like right here, you instantly walk up, crash the wave, and don't be afraid to walk further and further in and push a lot quicker than they expect, waste their time, and just do all of that. Do not be afraid to split push when you're behind and push really far in the second that you think you can buy a lot of time with your push. The second they leave the lane, you want to push and you want to put a lot of pressure on so that you force them back to your lane so they can't do anything on the map. They're stuck with you. That's a very good strategy to have when you're behind. When you're behind, you do not play safe. You play even more aggressive. Because if you play safe, you're stuck under turret. Enemy top moves. They team fight 5v4. You lose. You can't move because he pushed the wave. Unlucky. I'm sorry, team. I can't move. He's just so ahead. Well, how do you help your team then? What you should do is you should stay top, push, make him come to you, and then your team 4v4s, and that's a much better game state than sitting under turret, taking a wave while your team 4v5s. And then the question is, what if there's an objective up? What do I do? Well, if there's an objective and Baron is up, be bot lane. Hit the turret. I don't have TP. Did I stutter? Hit the turret. If you can be at the turret before they hit Baron, always split push. If you can be at the turret here and hitting it before they hit the Baron, you can actually hit it before they hit the Baron. They're not on it yet. You should always be at the turret. The only reason for you to be at the Baron is if you think you really win the team fight and it's very easy to play out, or you died like 20 seconds before the Baron spawns, so you have to run to the Baron because you don't reach this turret. That's the only reason. You will always be pushing on the opposite side of the objective, hitting the turret. If you can be hitting the turret when the objective is, before they do the objective, you should always be hitting the turret. If you can't because the wave is like too far, or you just died so you're not there in time, then you can run to the objective and try for something. If it doesn't work is what it is. Otherwise, always hit the turret. Always hit the turret if you can reach it in time. Another big thing is, let's say that they do the Baron and they're mid lane pushing mid, they're pushing bot, they're like 4 mid, 1 bot. What do? If they're ahead and they're stronger in a team fight, don't answer it, ignore it, push a side lane, and what will happen is most likely they'll get mid turret and maybe mid inhib and they'll push and they'll get the turrets because you're not there, right? But you'll keep pushing, you're going to be at their base and they're going to realize, oh wait, we need to send somebody back. We just send one person back? That might be awkward. What if she kills them and then she can randomly end the game? That's so risky. And they will recall. They will stop their push. You'll waste a minute from their Baron or a minute and a half, and it's very good for your team. If they get the Baron and they're stronger and it's a team fight, never try to team fight. You cannot fix a bad play. You can only make a new good play. Do not fix bad plays. You can't. It's impossible. Remember, kids, KDA doesn't matter. Only gold, EXP, and believing in the heart of the cards. That's all that matters. If you made it to the end of the video, I really appreciate it. Here's the one secret thing that'll really help you, which is DPM. You can go to their matchups website, not sponsored by the way, and you can look up Fiora versus whatever champion there is, or you need to, like Darius, Renekton, whatever. You can find the Twitch VOD of the matchup being played out, and you can watch it. So it'll really help you if you can see somebody else play the matchup to see how you should have played it out. And if you're still here and you got some use out of it, I'd really appreciate it if you could drop a sub or a like. I'm kind of new to the whole YouTube and streaming and everything thing. A little bit new, sort of. I've had a lot of lost time incidents, but it is what it is. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and I hope that I managed to help you.